Hello everybody and welcome back for some weekly VR news. As always, I'm Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. So today's episode is absolutely packed. There's tons of games dropping this week, new game announcements, plenty of updates. Version 62 is here for the Quest, bringing some really cool new additions, plus the Apple Vision Pro is here. So there is a lot to discuss, guys. I'm going to go through all of that. There are, of course, links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in, this video is brought to you by VR Rock, makers of prescription lens inserts for all of your favorite VR headsets. Quest 3 inserts are now available for purchase, and I'm extremely happy to announce that they've significantly dropped their pricing on this product. They magnetically connect for easy insertion and removal, so if you wear eyeglasses and struggle to fit them inside the VR headset, or you're concerned about scratching your lenses, go check out VR Rock down in the description, and don't forget to use discount code Mateo311 for 10% off and to help support my channel. Okay, so let's start this video off like normal with the check-in, and that's what exactly have I been up to in the VR world. Now, in between my Asgard's Wrath 2 addiction, I've been playing a lot of upcoming games. In fact, this week I'm covering 3 brand new titles. One is going to be a beta release, the other 2 are full launches. I'm really excited because I definitely enjoyed all 3 of these games, and this is not all sponsored content. So, if you want to see game coverage, make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on because this week we have some really solid games coming. And let's just move into that right now with this week's upcoming new releases. Now, I just recently covered the majority of these titles in my February new releases video. So if you want a little bit more information, I'll link that one above. But for right now, I'm going to move through these games a little bit faster than normal. First up is the Steam release for the stealth RPG Vampire the Masquerade Justice. If you're looking to take on the role of a revenge-seeking vampire who stalks his enemies from the shadows, eventually gaining some unique powers that'll help you brutally take down any foes around you, well then I highly recommend you go check out Vampire the Masquerade Justice. It's a truly unique title and some of the best stealth you'll find in a VR game. Now, speaking of best of, the #1 extraction shooter in VR, Ghost of Tabor, is making its way onto the official Quest store this week. Now, I know the game's been playable on Quest for quite some time, but moving on to the official store starts a new chapter, and you could soon expect to see a lot more players in this brutal killer be killed world. If shooters aren't your thing, take on the role of Border Patrol agent for traveling robots. We've seen this style of game on flat screen many times before, and for whatever reason it does become highly addictive, so now you'll get to do it in VR, inspecting a bunch of quirky robots with an array of different gadgets at your disposal. Now, if being a Border Patrol agent isn't the right job for you, why not take on the role of dentist and nail stylist in Titan's Clinic? When you're dealing with patients that can literally swallow you, you'll be moving on from the typical tools and using things like pickaxes and industrial drills to help treat these patients. Now, I can't say I'm looking forward to that game, but I am excited for the release of Dragon Fist VR Kung Fu. This physics-based martial arts title is like nothing else currently available in VR. There's a huge array of different characters to pick from, all with unique special abilities. And not only is there a massive single-player campaign with a huge variety of arenas to battle in, there's also online modes like co-op play, 1v1 matches, plus team battles and free-for-alls that go up to 8 players. Now that right there was the releases that I previously spoke about, but a new one snuck in just a few days ago, and that's Legendary Tales, giving its full release to PC VR and coming to the PlayStation VR 2. Legendary Tales is an action RPG that can be played either single player or with up to 4-person co-op. I absolutely love the early access PC version, dumping roughly 100 hours into it. The 1.0 release is bringing some major updates, including whole new areas to explore, weapon crafting, a quest system, and of course it'll be the first time PlayStation VR 2 owners get to try this game. Now, I'll definitely have coverage up for this game later in the week, so if you're a fan of RPGs or looking for a new title on the PlayStation, make sure to come back for that video. Okay, so let's move into new announcements, starting with Resolution Games making a brand new title for the Apple Vision Pro. Now, it's definitely a good sign for the Apple Vision Pro that developers are eager to work with it. Now, Resolution Games' new title is a collection of different board games. It includes classics like chess and solitaire, plus 3 other more unique titles. It's currently available for the Apple Vision Pro, iPhone, and iPad, but they're yet to announce if it's coming to any other VR platforms. Now, for the 99.999% of us who don't own an Apple Vision Pro, the next game announcement was much more exciting. A built from the ground up Metro VR title is coming from Vertigo Games. This is the studio that gave us other titles like After the Fall and Arizona Sunshine, and it is in association with Deep Silver, the original creators of the Metro series. Now, another interesting aspect of this announcement is that some of the rumors that we heard were true. I'm not talking about the fact that this game was coming. I'm talking about the ones from months back when Paradox of Hope was removed from the Steam store. This was a game that everyone referred to as Metro in VR. And that game was pulled down by Deep Silver, and everyone speculated, hey, they must be working on a Metro VR game, which turns out to be true. Now, that original title is gone, but the developer is reworking it into a new game. I wish him luck. Kind of sucks it went this way. The studio just didn't really want people confusing their officially licensed Metro game with this other title. Unfortunately, that's how it goes sometimes. I don't want to spend too much time on that topic. We can spend the whole day on this one. Let's just move on to the next announcement. It looks like February is a good month for those interested in the fantasy genre, as we just got a look of Tales of Sintra, The Dark Vortex, coming to PC VR. It's an action-adventure title where you get to battle creatures, solve puzzles, and avoid traps. There's also plenty of legendary weapons and powerful spells to gain along the way, so it looks like this could be another cool dungeon-crawling type of experience. This style of game's right up my alley, so I'll do my best to check it out. And we're still not done with the game stories just yet, as I have a handful of new updates to go over. Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord has some additional DLC, featuring the voice of actor Dan Aykroyd, who played Ray Stantz in the Ghostbuster movie. The free Slimer Hunt update is a new mission, which has you hunting down the iconic green character Slimer. Now, I definitely didn't play as much of this game as I wanted to, and while this update isn't enough to pull me back in, I am truly impressed to see that they were able to get Dan Aykroyd to do this. Now moving on to other updates, Shell Games gave us a much deeper look at their upcoming title, Silent Slayer. Now this game definitely isn't what I was expecting. It's almost like a dark, fantasy-themed version of I Expect You to Die. You'll be taking on the role of Vampire Slayer, but in order to deliver that stake to the heart, you'll need to make it through a series of traps. This puts you face to face with your enemy for an extended period of time, quickly building up the overall tension. One wrong move will deliver a nice little jump scare, and then you'll become dinner. Now, I enjoy everything that Shell Games makes, so I'll definitely have to check this one out. Now, we also got some new information on the VR MMO Zenith. I previously mentioned that they're working on a make it or break it new update, that if this fails, the game is going under because they've been operating at a loss. Well, I'm happy to say that the new update is making the game free to play, and they're rebranding themselves Zenith Nexus. The Nexus free-to-play update will have all of the game's content, but will also now include some premium in-game currency. So it looks like the game will be going the microtransaction route. Now, I definitely wish the studio luck on this project, and I'm curious to hear from you guys. Are you planning to jump in when this game goes free-to-play? Now, last up in game updates, Death Horizon Reloaded now has a mixed reality mode. It looks like it'll deliver an experience similar to Drop Dead the Cabin, where you'll mow down an array of zombies. But let's move into a little bit more exciting news, with everything coming to the Quest in version 62. There's definitely some great stuff here, starting with improved microphone quality. I know some people have complained that their mic quality is bad on the Quest 3, but overall Meta's been able to improve it with a software update. They've also simplified their hand tracking gestures, which is definitely a nice step forward. I've started using my Quest with hand tracking a bit more often, and it's feeling much better than it used to in the past. They've also improved multitasking with 2D applications. There's new updates for live streaming, including the ability to see chat on screen. And not to be outdone by the Apple Vision Pro, the Quest will now have support for spatial videos. This is basically 3D videos that have been captured on devices like the iPhone 15 or similar hardware. So overall, we're getting some great updates for the Quest, but let's move into an even bigger story, and that's the release of the Apple Vision Pro. Now, reviews are out there, and let's be honest, it's mixed. Some people are trying to trash it, other people are saying it's really good, but there's a series of common complaints. Things like the weight of the headset, obviously the price tag, the 2-hour battery life, and overall kind of a lack of functionality. The best description I've seen is, this is tomorrow's product using today's technology. And I think that makes sense, but I want to talk about the Apple impact, because this is exactly what I expected. We didn't think a $3,500 brand new headset would be, this huge mainstream push. Overnight, VR is huge, or spatial computing is huge. That's not what we're expecting. However, a huge name like Apple that has a crazy fan base is really good for VR overall. You're now seeing people walking the streets of New York City and all other places with headsets on. They're riding the subway, and they're touching the air in the middle of nowhere, and people are really curious what's going on, what's that device. So it has pushed the VR hardware way more into the mainstream, way more outdoors, and that is where Meta eventually wants to go. They can't get there quite just yet. They're going bottom upward. So So they're starting with, they want to grow with the cheapest technology they can offer. And Apple went the exact opposite. They're going top down. Super expensive for the elitists, but those people will go around showing it off. They're going to wear it because they say, look, I have $3,500 on my face. Some people are like that. I don't want to generalize Apple fans, but what I'm saying is there's definitely a serious Apple impact. And now Apple's in the spotlight, but also so is Meta. Meta is doing just as good, if not better now, thanks to Apple, because the overall interest in VR is way up. Meta also had a really good last quarter, so their profits are high, their stock price shot up, everyone's excited about VR again, and that's exactly what I expected from the Apple Vision Pro, and this is the only reason I was excited for them to get into it. Like I said, I didn't pick one up because I don't think the hardware is for me. I think it's going to be a $3,500 paperweight or just, a piece of technology for me to like showcase to people, but nothing I would use. And I couldn't justify spending that much money on something I'm 99% sure I wouldn't use. Now, I've tried to set up demos in the Apple stores around me, but that has not been going well. I've been unable to schedule a demo. So I'm going to keep trying. Anyone I know has a headset, I'm going to, drive to their house or whatever the case may be, learn more about the product so I can speak about it from my own personal experience, not just looking at people's reviews. But overall, I'm happy this headset's out there. I'm really excited to see what it's doing for the industry. Sales are surprisingly good on that headset. And that was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you're new here, consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you guys on next time.